Here are the 5 easiest 2TCs in BTD6. Starting with number 5, we have the Prince of Darkness Dark Champion combo. This one is great because the wizard takes out the ceramics and the super monkey handles all the blimps. We'll start off by loading chimps on resort and placing a wizard monkey in the top left of the small square. Then we'll upgrade him to a 0-2-0 as fast as possible. Between his main attack and the fireball, he'll easily pop the first few rounds and will be able to purchase Wall of Fire in the middle of round 10. Next, pick up Intense Magic and Monkey Sense so his attacks have more pierce and can hit camo balloons. This 0-2-2 wizard is more than enough for a while, so we'll save up for a super monkey. All we need to do is place him before the purples come on round 25. So once you have the money, put him down to the right of the track. And now we have all our bases covered. No round should even make it around the first square, so save up and make this super monkey a 0-0-2. This gives him camo detection and knockback, both of which make the rounds much easier. Then, before round 40, we'll upgrade the wizard to a necromancer and change the spawn point of his balloons so that they loop around the small square. This might take a few tries, but we want them here so that his graveyard stays full. This will take us into the 40s, where we'll upgrade the super monkey to a dark knight. But now you have a decision to make. You can leave him as a 0-0-3 and upgrade the wizard to a Prince of Darkness, or you can be like me and make the super a 2-0-3. This drastically increases his popping power, but takes away his ability to pop purples, making the reanimated balloons our only way to pop them. This isn't an issue if you move their spawn point to where I did, but if you're struggling with that, you might as well save straight up for the Prince. I was able to get these upgrades right after popping around 60's BFB, and we are set for a while. The only thing we need to do is move the spawn point a little farther back now that the zombie balloons last a bit longer. But don't worry, this one's a lot easier as you can just target the middle track. And now, you don't have to do anything for over 20 rounds. Just wait until you can afford the Dark Champion upgrade on your Super Monkey. This guy will shred ZOMGs and the Prince will take care of the rest. One thing I like to do though, is use the Super Monkey's ability to move him right above the Prince. This way, he'll break down the blimps a little earlier, but still pop everything inside the range of the wizard's graveyard. This will crush everything until round 98, where Pierce is a bit of an issue. While you should win, plenty of balloons will make it to the last loop of the map. I've never leaked here, but if you do, just hit retry round as you'll still get the 2TC hidden achievement. But this brings us to round 100 and why this is the 5th easiest strategy. In order to pop the bad, we'll need to move the Dark Champion a few times. At the start of the round, move him near the beginning so he can damage the bad right away. Then, as it's leaving his range, move him back above the wizard. This will let him attack it around the first loop. Once the bad finishes this, move the super monkey below the pool. He should be able to pop the bad layer over here, giving you plenty of time for the children inside. So use his ability one last time to put him back up top, and you should easily beat chimps with only 2 monkeys. The next easiest 2TC is Sauda and the Ray of Doom. Honestly, you can pair Sauda with just about any monkey and get the win, but this one is especially easy. Put her in the small square of resort and hit play. Out of habit, I put her in the bottom left of it, but anywhere should work. From here, save up for a Dartling Gunner and make it a 2-2-0. Any order is fine, I just like to pick up focus firing first so that I can lock his targeting at the start of the track and not feel bad about his accuracy. But this brings us to round 28 and why this combo is only 4th on the list. Here, we need to use Sauda's ability to pop the leads. I like to wait until the first lead balloon goes around the small square before using Sword Leap because it makes the leads stack on top of each other and they can all be taken out with one ability. And we'll do this again on round 30. Don't worry if you mess up the timing and can't pop them all with one leap. The map is long enough that her ability will come off cooldown in time to pop whatever lived. In the 30s, we'll upgrade the Dartling to a laser cannon and keep it shooting down this long straightaway. If you want to aim it yourself, you can, but I beat this just fine without ever microing it. On rounds 37 and 38, we'll need to pop the leads again with Sauda's ability, so just sword leap them once they're stacked up, just like last time. But from here, the run should be pretty free. Upgrade the Dartling to a Plasma Accelerator in the mid-40s and start saving up for the Ray of Doom. You shouldn't have to do anything until the 80s, but you can speed things up with an ability or two if you want. I got spooked and used Sword Charge at the end of round 78, but that was completely unnecessary. In the middle of round 81, you should be able to afford the Ray of Doom. Right before having enough money though, the balloons will get pretty far. So use Sauda's abilities and or micro the Dartling to pop the first half of the round and you'll get enough money for the upgrade. But after getting the rod, you can completely AFK your way to victory, or you can spend the rest of your money upgrading Sauda like I did. Both work perfectly fine. The 3rd easiest 2TC is the Pirate Lord Permaspike combo. We'll start off with a Buccaneer in the top right of the pool. This will be able to solo the first few rounds, but we'll want to pick up Grape Shot as early as we can. After Grape Shot, we'll upgrade the Buck to a 0-3-2. The order doesn't matter, but I like to get Long Range, then Hot Shot, Crow's Nest, and round it out with Cannon Ship. This will give us the time and space to get a Spike Factory at the back of the track and upgrade it to a 2-0-4 Deadly Spike. Make sure to set its targeting to Smart so that all the spikes get placed at the very very end. This will bring us to round 40, where the Buccaneer should be able to solo the Moab without anything even reaching the spike pile. In the early 40s, we'll have the money to make the Buck a 0-4-2 Monkey Pirates, drastically increasing its popping power and giving it a hook ability that can be used to one-shot Moabs and BFBs. And from here, we'll save straight up for the Pirate Lord. The nice thing is he's pretty cheap, coming in at only 28k, so we'll have him up and ready before we even get to the 60s, well before the rounds start getting tough. And now, we just have to save up for the Perma Spike. Feel free to use the hook whenever it's up, though nothing should even get close to leaking. The hooks will just make the rounds go by faster. I upgraded my Spactory to a Perma Spike on round 78, but this may change for you depending on future updates. But from here, our goal is to let as few balloons get to the spikes as possible. So that means using your hooks on the big balloons. If you see a ZOMG or two, use the ability. Otherwise, activate it when there are 6 DDTs or BFBs on screen. This way, you get the most out of each ability and eliminate as many balloons as possible with each use. Honestly, nothing will be a problem until the 90s, but here you'll want to be a bit careful. Even when paying attention to when I used it, plenty of balloons would make it to the spike pile. To make sure you have enough spikes though, you should wait a bit before ending each round. I didn't do this and still ended up fine, but I would have been much more comfortable had I gone a bit slower and let the Spactory build up more spikes. For example, you could wait a super long time to pull in the fortified ZOMGs in round 97 so that you have a massive wall of spikes for 98 through 100, but I pulled them in almost instantly. Even with this though, nothing got close to leaking, which is why this is such an easy 2TC. But things might get nerfed in the future, so it's better to play it safe. But by spamming your hook ability in the 90s, you should easily be able to beat chimps. Onto the second easiest 2TC, which is the Glaive Lord and Mad. This one requires no micro or abilities, so I had to put it high on this list. We'll start with a Boomerang Monkey in the small square. Just like Sauda, I put him in the bottom left of it, but I'm sure it doesn't really matter. We'll make him a 002 for that extra range and damage, and then start upgrading the top path for that extra pierce and crowd control. In the mid-teens, we'll make this guy a 302 Glaive Ricochet. This will destroy any balloon rushes for quite some time, and let us focus on our other monkey of the run, the Dartling Gunner. Put him to the right of the Boomerang, lock his targeting to the start of the track, and upgrade him to a 230 Hydra Rocket Pods. I normally start with focus firing for the increased accuracy, then pick up the 3 middle path upgrades and round him off with Laser Shock, though the order is all personal preference. This will bring us to the mid-30s, where we'll go back to the Boomer and make him a 402 more Glaives. This makes him attack 3 times as fast and almost triples his pierce, bringing it from 30 to 80. This won't only destroy the round 40 Moab, but also let us save straight up for the Glaive Lord, which will be able to solo the game for quite some time. Until this point, the Dartling Gunner had to pop all the camos, but now the Glaive Lord's orbiting ranks will handle them until DDTs start coming, and this will let us save up for the Mad. You don't need to micro anything or use abilities, just slowly upgrade the Dartling Gunner to a 250 and watch the Mad pop the blimps while the Glaive Lord pops the balloons. It's a beautiful combination. Not even round 98 will get far. We popped everything before they even made it to the middle loop, and that was without using a Rocket Storm. So to say we have some wiggle room is putting it lightly, and this combo will crush all the way through round 100. And for the easiest 2TC, we have the Inferno Ring and Perma Spike. We'll start with a 101 tack shooter in the top right of the small square on Resort. Then we'll upgrade it to a 302, picking up Hot Shots last. This will crush the rounds, so place a Spike Factory near the end of the track and make it a 204 Deadly Spike. This guy will have to pop every camo balloon this run, as the tack shooter can't see those, but it shouldn't have to do much else. Just make sure to set its targeting to smart and we'll be good to go. Then go back to the tack shooter and make it a 402 Ring of Fire. Now, as much as I want to go straight for an Inferno Ring here, we need to upgrade the Spactory to a Perma Spike. This way, there's no chance the camo will get through, so upgrade it to a 205. This will lock up the exit and allow us to save up for the Inferno Ring, which we should get around round 80. This guy's Meteor does insane single target damage, and his close range flame attack will tear the balloons apart. And now you can just AFK your way to victory. In my run, only a few non-camo balloons made it to the Spactory, so I was never even scared of leaking. And with that, we should easily beat chimps with only 2 towers. But those were the 5 easiest 2TCs in BTD6. If you want to see the 5 easiest ways to beat chimps in general, click this video right here.